Well, hey everybody, I'm Dr. Tom Miller, and we're really excited to be able to share this 10 video set with you. My wonderful teammate Lauren Waters is with me, so this is really exciting to have Lauren co-teach on these really important indicators because Lauren's been such a big part of help shape them and help schools understand them. So welcome, Lauren.
Hi, Tom. Thanks for having me today.
That's going to be great. So just real quick, before we dive into indicator one, Lauren and I wanted to make sure that you understood what the indicators were. And so what the performance indicators are these are 10 areas that we have found in the hundreds of schools and school leaders that we've interviewed and the schools that we've walked the hallways of, that these are 10 performance indicators that charter school leaders need to keep their eyes on constantly, have a clear vision of what success will be, and then most importantly, where are we right now? So what the 10 indicators does is it's an assessment piece, and it's a way for you to do these a couple things. Laura and I were just really talking about. One, it's to what's the current reality of my school and my organization, right? Because that's the leader's number one job is to always define and know where we are realistically. The second piece that it does when the rest of your team takes it, it really starts to create this common language of what each of these performance indicators are, what they look like, what are the substandards for these indicators. That's really important. And then it really helps everybody put their time and energy and their focus into growing that one particular indicator. The other piece that it does is it helps the leader create a vision of success. I've talked a little bit about this, but leaders are, Lauren works with me, so she knows I'm a big picture guy, and I think way ahead, and that's not good because not everybody on your team is going to see the bigger picture. That's really the leader's job, is to create that vision of success, but they have to be able to communicate what success looks like. So what the indicators do is, again, they help everybody shape that vision, ask questions around what success would look like. So then you could start to create that plan, that adhere to their plan, which our book, the 10 Indicators of High Performing Charter Schools, does. And a lot of our programs, will do and help you. So one, we talked about creating awareness and self-awareness of what the indicator is, what would success look like, and then it also helps you progress monitor. So if you take this assessment, right? You're looking at this wheel as it's in its current form, but then, hey, let's look at it every 90 days. And now you're starting to really see, are we taking the time to really pay attention? Which wheels need more, which parts of the wheel need more focus. All right. So what we're going to do during each of these videos is we're going to take one of the spokes of the wheel, right? Because I talked about the 10 indicators of success, but I didn't really talk about it in its entirety. And so what it does is when you take your assessment, we have a tool that you can put all of your scores on. And we call it our wheel of success. And this is actually what it looks like in the back of the book. And Lauren will show you one as well, right? But you can download this and everybody on your team can create your score. So at the end, everybody has their wheel of success, and every single indicator has a score point, based upon the substandards, right? Because what you want to look at is how well is my wheel balanced? Is it rolling, right, or is it kind of lumpy? Is it just kind of like hitting some flat points? And Lauren and I, we will share the results of the over 500 people that have taken the assessment so far, and you'll get to see which indicators are usually pretty strong, and which indicators do most charter schools struggle with. Any thoughts on that, Lauren? Anything else you want to add to the actual wheel and the assessment and the tool?
No, I just think it is such a great, as you mentioned, tool to help identify that current reality and then really track your progress over time. And it brings just intentionality to yourself as a leader, and then those that are on your leadership team with you, as you mentioned, to just, it's the driving point for the conversations that you're having.
Yeah, what a great word you used there, intentionality, right? Because, good intentions are to, hey, I bought the book. I've got the book, the 10 indicators of high performing charter schools, but then it just sits on your desk, right?
Right.
Or, hey, I went to 10indicators.com and I took the assessment, but we never actually looked at the results, right? So you've got to be intentional. Success is going to come from intentional action, not just from good intention. So I love that. Yeah. So that's where you can go and you can buy the book. You can go to 10indicators.com. That's the word 10, TEN indicators.com. And right there, you can take the assessment and download some of the free resources to really help you grow your wheel out. So let's look at the first indicator. So the first indicator is what, Lauren? What's the first one we're gonna take the time to talk about?
Yeah, so indicator one is all about mission and vision. So it's clear and sustained mission and vision.
Yeah, that's where everything starts, right? I mean, everything starts with your mission, and I see the mission as really, it's like your sun, right? I mean, everything revolves around it, everything gets filtered through it. It really gives you energy and light, right? Because if it's written well, it's short, right? It's concise, and it's really, really inspiring. And in the book, we actually broke down six to 10 mission statements from very popular organizations and actual other charter schools that we really, really love. And I think my favorite always is Sugar Creek's a mission to eradicate generational poverty. I mean, that's just something that everybody needs to be able to rally around, right? So there are three substandards of this clear and sustained mission and vision. So when we talk about mission being your why you exist, your vision is, well, what are you going to do, right? What is the end result really going to be? And so both of these, they can't just be words on paper, right? Or words on your wall, or just words that are just kind of seanced, which I've been during board meetings, and I've been to staff meetings where everybody kind of seances the mission, and that's great, but it has to be tangible, and as Lauren said, intentional action. And Lauren, you were sharing a story earlier about how an organization that you were a principal at that kind of fought through this.
Yeah. I was sharing with Tom earlier that I just wish we had a tool like what we have in this first chapter that really has you reflecting on your mission and vision of the school and ensuring that, as this, third bullet point here says, the mission and vision are the driving points of all decisions. It's in our education programming, it's in our employee development, it's budgeted for. And once our school started focusing on that, we really started to see momentum in the programs that we were offering and the types of students that were coming to our school, because the school I was at, we were trying to be a STEM school, and originally it was very limited to the opportunity students to have to be a part of that programming. It was just outside of school hours, and then we started bringing it into our school hours and offering it. And then eventually there was no denying we were a STEM school. We had STEM curriculum, we had STEM courses, we had a budget for it, we were training our staff on it. And that's when we really started to see that momentum of reaching our mission and
Yeah.
vision.
And that's pretty common, right? Because we've talked about the leadership turnover, and so pre-COVID, I think the average tenure was about 2.7 years just in North Carolina, and that's where Lauren's based now, and I was for 20 years. And so, but I mean, that's about the norm. So it's not just a charter school leaders. This is traditional district leaders as well. So yes, the book cover says charter schools, and the assessment says charter schools, but these are performance indicators, honestly, for any school. And so, like, I remember moving to my neighborhood and looking at the schools available for my daughter. She was just about to be school age, and I remember seeing a traditional magnet school that was a STEM school, and my neighbor's kid went to that school, and I said, hey, well, tell me about the STEM resources. What do they do? And they said, well, what is STEM? And I was like, oh, I said, it's usually science, technology, engineering, math, but everybody kind of puts their spin on it, like, yeah, I really don't know. I haven't noticed anything, right? And I was like, okay, well, there's a first indicator. So, you need to live it out, so if you look at your mission and you look at the words and you start to pull out key words, right? So, again, go to 10indicators.com, you either get the book or you can get some of the resources. We have an assessment tool right there that will help you really look at your mission, right? And what are the most important words of your mission? And what resonates with everybody who's part of your organization? Like, maybe some people probably came to your school because they read your mission statement. I've been at schools where I was the interim director and I said, why did you come to work here? I just love your mission statement. Like, you do? I've never read it. What is it? So I mean, that's really important. People are reading these and they are attracted to you. And this is while they'll come, but the reason why they'll stay is what Lauren talked about, is because the organization puts all of its resources, time, and energy into ensuring that mission is a reality. Okay. So if you've got your downloaded indicators right now, you can score yourself and you'll see here, right? If I got 2 out of 3, if I said yes, right, I've got 2 out of 3, then your score is 67% on this, particular standard. And then you can mark it right there on your wheel. And Lauren's showing you, right? So this is 438 responses. And so, like, each of your indicators is going to give you a score, and then you'll be able to fill that in and you'll see this is, this is the average. So indicator 1 is that it's about like at 11 o'clock. I see it there on the left, right? And so
Yep, right here.
that's the average. So 72% of the substandards, based upon the assessments, leaders agree with, and that's great, right? And so, but that always has to be, the conversation, like, in it, because it's sustained mission and vision, right? And we talked about leadership turnover. If the principal's leaving every 3 years, and if you're a charter school, your board's usually turning over every 3 years, like every 3 years, without that constant sustainability and the pieces in place, you may slowly drift away from your mission. Lauren, any final thoughts on this one?
No, I just wanted to point out, I know you've talked a little bit about the book, and that intentionality piece around it, is that there are just so many great resources within the book. I love that this is not a book you're just going to passively read. There's literally a notes section in the margin of the book. There are reflection questions that you're going to be asked to think on. There's places for you to write out answers to these reflection questions as well. So it really will force you to be intentional with your thoughts, and as you're reading through this chapter, we hope that's what you do.
Yeah, well, thanks for that, Lauren, because you've been a big help in making sure we had all those pieces in there, and that's really what the book is. I mean, the book is either what we've done as a team over the last 10 years, or what I've done either as a principal or as a teacher over 20 years, and what I've learned from the best thought leaders around each of these indicators. And so we've taken the time to interview the most successful school leaders, to walk the hallways of the most successful schools, and then embed this book with all those better practices that you can read, and then start to build out an action plan to make sure it is a reality. So just one more thought, this conversation around mission and vision. I tell a story about not having clarity and vision in the book. It's kind of funny. It's really the only time I was cursed at in all of my years as a principal by a staff member. But without vision, people perish. And it's not that they literally die. They're kind of like their heart dies in a sense. They're just not sure where you're going. Like, hey, I really want to be part of this. Just not sure what this is anymore. I thought it was this because that's what I saw. But when I come here, this isn't how I feel, or these aren't the actions that I see. So your mission and vision are critically, critically important. So go to 10indicators.com, get a copy of the book. You can get a pre-order copy right now. And then you can download the assessment and a copy of your wheel, and really start to build out that current reality conversation. So thanks, everybody. Thanks, Lauren.